People who have come to know the love of God, we get this parable because we know God is our Father and we're His children. We're not His slaves. We're not just His employees or workers or servants. We're His children, His sons and daughters. So of course, a father gives everything to his children. Everyone is at home in the home and at the dinner table and so on. Like we hear in the parable of the prodigal son, the father says to the older son, he says, all that I have is yours. You're my son. You're my child. And so again, the notion of there being justice and he gets more and she gets more. Again, when you're dealing with a father and children in a family, everything belongs to the children. And if some children, have struggles or difficulties or can't, do the same amount of work, that doesn't matter. You're a son, you're a daughter. All that belongs to the father, belongs to the children. Now, as children, we were made to work, to build, to serve, to create, to do things. As a matter of fact, that's where we find our life and happiness and fulfillment. I mean, it's not by loafing around and doing nothing all day. Just because your daddy is the great king and all wealthy and powerful, it doesn't mean we're not supposed to do anything and be lazy children. No, we were made, I saw a big billboard once with a guy building a house, and the caption was "Born to Build." We were born to build or create or serve and do wonderful things. And again, that's where we find life. That's where we find fulfillment. And as a matter of fact, again, you look at this parable of the vineyard. Wouldn't it be wonderful to work in a vineyard? Who here would like to work in a vineyard for a little while? A few of you. Some of you are like, no way. Listen. When I was not even a teenager, I started working on a farm. The main produce was the main thing we cultivated was the main crop. That's the word I'm looking for. The main crop was strawberries. That's where my boss made most of his money. But he grew everything. Anything that could grow in our area, he grew, and he sold it. He had a vegetable stand and all that, and so I started working there when I was 11. I lied about my age, and I'll tell you something. We loved it. My buddies and I who worked there, we loved working at the farm. And for a number of reasons. I mean, one is you get to be with your friends. The second reason is we needed the money. One of the things all of the workers had in common, these were summer workers, so typically high school kids. One of the things we all had in common is we had parents who wouldn't buy us toys. If I remember at one point, at the time I started working on the farm, like my dad said, listen, you want fancy shoes? Great, go buy them yourself. You want fancy jeans? You want a motorcycle? And so I guess for my dad, buying the groceries and paying the bills was enough, And so we all had that in common. Most of us were trying to buy a motorcycle or things like that. So we were working. But again, it was so much fun to go to work with the boys, and we were a wild and crazy group. And what's crazy too is, again, I started at 11 years old. Now, when I was 11, I wasn't working full time. It was just, a student pick, they called it. You would pick strawberries, and you would get paid by how much you picked for an hour or two in the morning. But the point is we start at work 8 a.m. Can you imagine a kid on his summer holidays? School starts at 9 a.m. When school ended and summer vacation started, we would be getting up earlier. And guess what? We had to bicycle to the farm. Can you imagine a kid getting up, bicycling to the farm, 8 a.m.? I mean, some mornings it was cool. It was still cool in the morning. But the point is, I'm not exactly sure what my point is. But I think the main point is, the life the Lord has given to us, which the vineyard is an image for our life. We're each given a vineyard. We're meant to tend a vineyard, but we're meant to give, the produce. The owner comes. He wants to see the fruits. This vineyard, again, perspective is everything. This vineyard, it's meant to be delightful, a little paradise. Your life, It's meant to be delightful and a little paradise. Yes, there's manure in the vineyard, there's pruning in the vineyard, sometimes there's storms, and sometimes you have to deal with, whatever, the foxes or the crows or whatever trying to eat the fruits. But the point is it's meant to be a delight, but we're called to live. Again, as children of God, we're not meant to be a bunch of lazy bones doing nothing. We're meant to make a gift of ourselves, to apply ourselves, to make the best of what we have, and to see the blessing of our life and to live life in the full. Because Jesus has promised us, he says he wants us to have life in abundance.